All right, it's time for another podcast. I am right now sitting in a car driving around Midtown Memphis, looking for destinations unknown right now.
Yeah, this is kind of the whole process. I usually start, I just get in my car and just drive around. I don't usually have a solid idea in my head. Tonight I have a pretty general idea what I want to do. Just gotta find the right place for it. Usually I just drive around half hour or so. I try to go to different places, like different parts of town I haven't been to. Mostly what I'm looking for is just good light, interesting light.
So let's talk first. This project that you're doing.
Yep.
Tell me, number one, what is the project, and number two, how did this get started, and what's going on?
So what I'm doing is I'm taking an instant photo a day for the whole year. Back in November, Fuji makes this film, or used to make this film. It was FP3000B. It's instant peel-apart film. It's 3" by 4" prints. You pull them out of the camera, you wait 15 seconds, and they're done.
Sort of like a high-quality Polaroid.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. It's Fuji's version of a Polaroid. Well, I used to buy this film like crazy. Like the camera I use, I've had it for 4 or 5 years. I'd gotten to the point last year where I was buying about a case a month. That's like 60 packs, so 600 shots. And I was burning through it. In fact, in November, I went to Milwaukee to photograph the Roller Derby National Championships. And I shot the entire thing on that film. I used about 30 packs.
And this is all film, not digital at all, right?
It's all film.
Yeah.
All film. It's 3200 speed black and white film. It sounds like it'd be limiting, but it's actually pretty versatile. The only other film they make is 100 speed color, which I hate. But I came back from Champs, really pumped about it. Everybody really liked them. I had good reception. I got some really great images out of it. And I was ready to buy another case because I was almost out. And all my suppliers kind of dried up. I didn't really know what was going on. Then I found out Fuji decided to discontinue it.
Did they give a reason?
Worldwide demand was down. They weren't making enough money off of it.
Is it because of like phones and digital cameras and that kind of stuff, or is it has people moved on to other film?
You know, I don't really know. Like instant film's kind of popular these days again. I thought that film was actually pretty popular. All the friends I know that shoot film shoot it. They buy a lot of it. So it was kind of a shock. I actually got to talk to a Fuji rep at work like a month ago, and it wasn't that it wasn't selling. It's that it wasn't selling enough for Fuji to think, oh, we should keep doing this. Like, in fact, when they quit producing it, they still had outstanding orders for like 120,000 cases. Like a lot of film.
That's so crazy. That
yeah, it's ridiculous.
Is it? I wonder, is it just too expensive to produce, or I don't know.
Maybe. Like, you know, they still have to get all the paper and the chemicals and everything, and chemicals cost money. All their other prices have gone up on all their other film. Film's just getting more expensive across the board. I mean, it sucks that it happens, but it's going to happen to everything. So,
you think eventually film's just going to go the way of the dinosaur?
No, it's going to be... It's not going to go away. It'll always be an artistic medium. It'll just be more expensive, shorter supply, less variation than it used to be. But it'll always be there in some form. Like Ilford's still going to make black and white film. Kodak is still going to make color film in some capacity. It'll still be around. It'll be a lot more expensive, a lot harder to get. Only for like the real artist types that want to use that for a specific look or things like that. Well, I got real depressed about it, and I finally got my hands on some more, like about another case of it. And didn't really know what I was going to do. I'm not really the hoarding type. Like, I'm not going to go out and just scour eBay for random packs.
Right. I'd imagine they'd get insanely expensive too after a while.
Now, it used to be I could get a pack for about $8, and now you're lucky if you can find it for under $20.
Good God.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And a good friend of mine that I work with, I got him into using the same camera I use, into using this film a lot. And he had this brilliant idea in December. He's like, man, I've always wanted to do a 365. I think I'm going to do it with this film. I think I got enough. And I was like, man, that's a really good idea. If I could get one more case of this, I could do that. So I hunted around. I spent a little more money than I really wanted to. And I bought another case. And so I started the year with about 110 packs. I currently have just under just under 80 packs or so left. So I've been pretty good with it. My whole idea was I'm not going to hoard it. I'm not going to go look for it. I'm going to take a picture a day for the whole year. And when it's gone, it's gone. And that's it. It's my big send-off. It's my favorite film. And if it's not going to be made anymore, then goodbye.
So every single night, then you're doing a shot, which is what 365 is. First of all, do you plan the shots? Do you not, or how does that work?
When I first started out, I was trying to come up with ideas ahead of time, and that worked for a while. But now I'm 149, 150 days into it.
Yeah.
Ideas are kind of few and far between. So a lot of nights are just like this. I'll have kind of a basic idea what I want to do, or a subject, like you're going to be in it tonight. So I'll at least have like one little piece of it.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of drive around till something hits me. Like last night, I was actually talking to my wife for a long time about how I'm feeling like I'm burning out on everything, and I just don't want to take any pictures anymore at all, and I don't know what I'm doing anymore with this project. As you know, big kind of let me air my grievances out. And
right.
She was like, you just gotta chill out, relax. You know, maybe you need to introduce some more methodical things with it. Like maybe you need to start planning ahead. Like at least just lining up your subjects every day. And I was like, yeah, you know, you're right. I should try something different. And so last night, I remembered that old skate park down off Summer.
Oh yeah.
I'd never been there. And she's like, well, you should go down there. And I said, all right. And sure enough, I'd never seen the sign in person before, except from like Sam Cooper, where you see the back of it. And I just set up and took a shot. And that's how it happened. It was like, oh, I'm just gonna drive around. There it is. Take the picture. Done.
So when you're doing your shoots, is it one photograph and that's it, or do you try to take 2 or 3 to pick the shot, or?
I try to get it in one, and I'd say about 60% of the time I get it in one. Every once in a while, when I first started, it was really cold, and the camera I use is like fully mechanical. There's no electronic safeties or anything at all. Yeah. So if I leave a lens cap on, I'm not going to see it until I pull the frame. If I leave the dark slide in, I'm not going to see it until I pull the frame. So I would mess up a lot. So that first week, I averaged maybe 3 or 4 shots till I got the right one. Every once in a while, I'll mess up again, or the film will mess up, or something happens like that, where I wind up using 3 or 4 shots. On even rarer occasions, I'll either just totally hate the exposure and want to redo it, or while I'm taking the shot, a better idea will happen, and I'll just redo it. But for the most part, it's just one shot. I try to do it in one shot.
Now you do both kind of more, I guess, inanimate objects, landscapes, and then you also have people that are subjects. How do you choose, or is it just kind of a spur of the moment?
It's mostly spur of the moment. Like last night, most of my pictures for this project have been with people.
Yeah.
A lot of them are me because I can't get somebody at
right.
1 in the morning to come hang out. But I don't know. I like people. I consider myself more of a portrait photographer than anything else. But occasionally, a good landscape's a good landscape. Like last night, I took a picture of that sign, and that was great. I took a picture of a steeple of a church the other day. It sounds really boring, I know, but you go look at it, it's actually, it's pretty nice. I don't know. I think people are easier to photograph. I've never been a good landscape photographer, or never really felt like that was my strength.
Right.
I think people are more interesting, more variation. Even the same person you can photograph from a different angle, a million different ways, and it's still interesting.
Well, you kind of proved that being your own subject so many times.
I hope so. I'm kind of burned out on myself now, though. That was another big talk we had last night. I was like, I'm tired of being my own subject.
So how your wife sounds like she's very supportive of this whole project.
Oh yeah, no, she's great. She gets to be my subject every once in a while. She has some health issues that keep her at home sometimes, so she doesn't get to be my subject all the time. Plus, she works too, so she likes to get her sleep more than I do.
Right.
So it's all right if I stay up till 5 in the morning. It's not okay if she does.
So when you use people as subjects, I know one thing that you really love is probably all of the safe for work settings on Facebook and Instagram, and you've run up against a little bit of trouble with some of your photographs.
A little bit, art's risky sometimes. Sometimes you just want to make an image that maybe isn't safe for work. I've only had a couple of images flagged and taken down. Mostly nudity, it happens. People are, I don't know why people are afraid of nudity, but for some reason they are.
How frustrating is that for you as an artist?
It's a little frustrating. I mean, I understand it, at least as far as Instagram goes and Facebook goes. I know there are people with families and kids and stuff that look at it and they don't want to see that. Well, tough shit.
Right. I mean, if they've got access to your Facebook page, I would imagine that it's somebody that,
somebody I know. Yeah, it's
right.
Delicate American sensibilities. I know I wouldn't have this problem in Europe. So,
right.
It is what it is, though. I can't police everybody. I can't get mad at anybody. It's the way the system works. So you either just play along and just keep putting it out there, or you get mad and stop doing it altogether. And I'm choosing the first option.
Since you've had issues with some of your images, do you self-censor anymore now, or do you just still say fuck it and do what you want?
Well, it doesn't stop me from taking the pictures. I'm kind of OCD about things, so if I put an image up and it gets taken down, it drives me crazy that the set's no longer complete where I put it. So I still go ahead and censor and put it up. Like the last one that I censored, I over-censored it on purpose.
That was pretty amazing.
Yeah, it was like too sexy for the Facebooks.
Very, what's it, Todd Solondz from Storytelling?
Yeah. So, I have fun with it. I'll be tongue-in-cheek. I have no problem with that. But I do like Tumblr for that. Tumblr, I can put it up no matter what. They don't they don't care at all.
Oh, okay.
Like, they really don't care. I think the only thing on Tumblr is if you have any kind of ads or whatever, like if you're doing AdSense, they'll take that away if they feel you're putting up pornographic content. And so far I haven't had that issue, but I don't have ads on my Tumblr either, so.
Right.
But yeah, so it's, at least one place is I can put it up there, and if people want to go look at it, they can go look at it. No one's going to flag it there, so.
Do you have your own website that you put this on, or?
I have a website that's totally, terribly out of date. That hopefully this summer will get updated to showcase a lot of this project. That's the plan, anyway.
Right. So, let's see. So, where are we driving around right now?
We are in Midtown near the Sears building across town.
They're about to tear that down, right?
They are. I've been in a couple times. It's really awesome in there. I wish I could shoot in there more. They're actually having some photographers and videographers in this coming week, or tomorrow. No, right. Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
Saturday, but I have a wedding Saturday. I emailed them about it. I was like, what time are you guys thinking about doing it? Oh, 4 to 7 p.m. I'm like, why?
Exactly.
Can you do it in the morning? No. So.
Well, have you ever run into any safety concerns or anything doing any of these shots?
I go to some pretty rough parts of town, and I've never felt unsafe until I went out to Tipton County. I did get shot at once.
In the city or in the
county?
Oh, okay.
I went up to visit a friend of mine on her birthday. She lives up in Drummond, and it was 10 o'clock at night. It wasn't really that late. We were on her property, like squarely in the middle of her 3 acres of property. I was setting up a shot. It was going to be kind of a slasher pick shot, but it's in the dark, so you can't really see that because
right.
I was using flash and everything. And we heard a gunshot. And I'm like, well, it's the county. People shoot guns out here all the time. I heard some dogs or some sort of animal noises. I figured they were trying to scare them off.
Right.
So we kept setting up. Well, then a few minutes later, there were 3 more shots in rapid succession. And my friend happened to see the muzzle fire coming from her neighbor's back porch.
Oh, my God.
And she was like, is there a problem? We're on my property. And he goes, you're keeping my dogs up and waking me up.
And the best way to solve that issue is with a gun.
Of course, yeah. So she got super pissed, went inside, called the cops. I went back inside, and I think I found her spot, by the way.
I noticed that too, and I was like, I bet we're going to end up right there.
Yep, right there.
So do you ever bring any of your own lighting equipment, or you just look for natural light, or kind of whatever's around?
I carry one strobe. I try to keep it pretty simple. My whole kit fits in one bag.
Yeah.
I have 3 lenses, 1 light, and a tripod. So she calls the cops. Cops came out, arrested the guy. He just had his trial last Friday. He got a year probation and got his guns confiscated. So for attempted, what was it? Oh crap! I don't know. It was like attempted assault with a deadly weapon or something like that.
Being an asshole with a gun.
Being an asshole with a gun, pretty much.
Well, we are about to go take this. Do you have equipment to set up, or?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll talk about this while we're setting up then. So we are standing next to, is that the Sears building?
It is. It's the side that most people never see because they never come down this street because it's kind of scary.
It's slightly scary.
A little bit.
We've got a chain link fence surrounding it, and then we also have a nice one big bright light.
Just one.
Just one.
Part of it is just getting a frame up on it. I like the fence. I like the lighting in the back. This will be our main light. I'm not going to set up a strobe. So street light. It's going to be a long exposure. And you're going to be in it.
All right. Well, I'm going to hit stop on here, and then we'll talk about it on the way back once we've done it. And you can go to the websites and his Facebook and all that stuff, and you can take a look at what it looks like. So we just did our photo shoot of me leaning against a fence right in front of the Sears building.
Yep.
So, all right. So let's talk a little bit about what we did. Basically, we just kind of pulled over to the side of the road and found a spot with some light.
Just looking for the good light. Found a fence I liked. Found an image I liked that I wanted to make. Took me a second to kind of frame it all up and then figure out how I wanted you in it. But yeah, my camera, it's a Mamiya Universal. It's an old press camera from the 60s. So I can use it to shoot medium format film, or in this case, Polaroids. Covers the full frame.
How did you get that camera?
I found it on eBay.
Oh, okay. Was it just kind of an experiment to see, or did you know anything about it? Or?
Well, okay, so a long time ago, back when I still liked William Eggleston. I saw this documentary on him, and he was out shooting with a Mamiya Super 23, which it's a sister camera to this one.
Okay.
It's a little different in that the back piece can actually tilt and shift a little bit.
Okay.
But it can't take Polaroid back.
Oh,
It
okay.
can only take a roll film back.
Yeah.
Well, I really admired him at the time, which was like 6 or 7 years ago, mostly because of that 70s show he did at the MoMA. So I was like, I was young and naive and was like, oh, if I get the same camera, maybe I can take the same shots.
Right.
So I bought one. I got it on eBay for maybe $150, $200. It was cheap, relatively.
Right.
And got it, ran maybe a dozen rolls through it, hated it. Absolutely hated that camera. And I got rid of it. I sold it. I think I actually sold it for more than I paid for it on eBay.
Oh, well.
But I never forgot that camera. And about a year after that, I got an old one of those old Polaroid land cameras that takes pack film, takes this film, and I thought it was pretty neat. So I got some film for it, and I got a lot of this film for it, and I really liked it. But those old cameras are, totally automatic. There's really nothing unless you get one of the really expensive, like 185, 190 models that are really rare. Then you don't have any kind of control over the exposure.
Right.
So I wanted something that I could get a little more control with, and most of the options I'd seen were like, oh, you can get I had a Mamiya RB67 at the time. It was like, oh, you can get a Polaroid back for this, but it only makes a square image on a rectangular piece of paper.
Right.
So you get these black bars. I was like, I don't want that. I dug around some more, and it came back to those Mamiya press cameras. I was like, oh, I remember those. And I found out there was a version of it that was almost just like the one I had that would take a Polaroid back, and it would cover the full frame. So I got back on eBay, and I dug around for a long time, finally got the one I wanted. And I've actually bought 3 of them since then.
Oh, wow.
The lens I got, when I went, the first time I got the Mamiya Super 23, I got a 100mm f3.5 lens, and it was fine. And then I found out I have an obsession with fast glass and shooting in low light. Always have. I like the dark.
Oh, yeah.
Found out there was a 100mm f2.8 lens. It happened to be a variation on the old Zeiss planar design, which I love the way those things write. Something about I really hate talking about this because I hate it when I hate it when customers talk about this kind of stuff because it really doesn't matter.
Right.
It's all totally subjective, but I like it.
Sure, yeah.
But I like the way the out of focus regions look. I like how swirly it can look.
Yeah.
I also like how sharp it is. I also like how fast it is. It's kind of a rare and hard to find lens, kind of expensive, so I spent a lot more money getting a pair of those so I'd have a backup.
Right.
3 bodies. I've probably bought 10 Polaroid backs and use 1, but I have them.
Well.
Yeah, I just collect a bunch of that stuff, and that's how I got the camera. I just got it on eBay.
Do you use any kind of photo effects with this camera? Like we didn't tonight.
Any effects I do, I try to do it in camera.
Okay.
Like, there was a picture a couple weeks ago, or maybe a week or 2 ago. There's a mural on Macklemore in Mississippi. It says "The Baddest."
Yeah.
And I had an idea that I wanted like that as the top part of the frame, and then a person below it with their arms open as the bottom part of the frame. So to do that, I actually took the back off and put black tape over half of the back of the lens, and took the first shot of the mural, and then the second shot I took the tape off, and the picture of the person, I lined it up so that the dark black sky was the top part of the frame.
Wow.
So it wouldn't add to the exposure.
Right.
I've done that. I've done some double exposure stuff. I did a whole week of double exposures. Like there's one I actually did in 2 nights. It was a picture of my friend lying naked on her side in my studio, so on white. And that was one Thursday night, and then the next night I went and took a picture of the Mississippi Bridge, the Big M Bridge.
Oh, yeah.
And just double exposed it right over her spine.
I saw, that was a great photo.
Yeah, thanks.
So when you're doing this every day, right? So what happens, like, there are no sick days, right? What do you do if you just feel like shit one day, or?
Oh, there were plenty of those, especially back in the winter, where it was just terrible. I was like, I have a headache, I've got a cold, I've got a sinus infection or whatever. What am I going to do? And those are the ones where I'm either in the studio or they're right out my front door.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You can make an image anywhere, at any time. It doesn't really matter how you feel. If you need to do it, you do it.
We got done pretty quickly tonight, really.
Yeah, this is actually pretty quick. This is kind of rare.
How long does this normally kind of take?
Usually I'll leave the house around 9:30, 10 o'clock, and I'll be home and have it scanned by 1 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
So usually a couple hours. Tonight was, about an hour?
Yeah.
Tops. That's a pretty quick one. Like last night, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I drove straight there, saw it, took the picture, came home. Average is a couple hours though.
Okay.
So
what's kind of the goal? Is it just to hit the 365, or is there a larger kind of plan in mind with these?
When I first started it, my plan was just to make it through. And if anything good came out of it, that would be fine. But now, as I've gotten more into it, there's a lot of work. A lot of pictures out of it that I'm really proud of. I'd like to have a show at the beginning of next year. I'd like to maybe put, if not all of them, like highlights of the year into a book.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the goal now, a book and a show.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So anybody who wants to see these photos, where can they go to do that?
They are on my Tumblr every week, iamjoeymiller.tumblr.com, or on my Instagram every day, or Facebook every day. I am Joey Miller is my Instagram name. Eventually they'll be on my website, which is iamjoeymiller.com. I've worked really hard on my branding.
Yeah, that's really good. It's something I wish I had done. Yeah. Well, I'm going to end it right here. This was fantastic. This is really a fascinating thing. So you can go to those and see what I look like leaning against a fence, and see a lot more attractive people doing some more amazing things, and and definitely check it out for the rest of the year. This is Joey Miller, photographer. I'm Richard Lester, the author of The Checkout, and filmmaker, and it was good doing this.
Good to do it.
Thanks.